Then I saw him, my dad, my best friend, in the kitchen where we once carved pumpkins and made gingerbread houses. He was now on the ground turning purple. The clear but stressed sound in my mom's voice was incredibly eerie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, they steadily counted. Then I realized my dad could be gone. He had just flatlined. I knocked myself back into the petrifying reality and went to make sure all of the kids were okay. They were all sobbing. The tears that came out of our faces during those 14 minutes could fill a river. I tried to throw away my thoughts and be there for my mom. She just watched her husband die and come back to life. Was that the last time I was going to see my dad?
He had gone for a run and got back at 9:55 and came back, was talking, everything seemed normal. He set his phone down and he just collapsed. And initially I did not know what happened. I thought maybe he had become lightheaded because he had just returned from his run. But when he fell down, his eyes were open, but he was not responsive, saying, "Babe, babe." And when he wasn't responding, I grabbed his phone that was right there and I called 911 immediately. Our son Ryder was sitting right next to me and he ran and got our oldest daughter, Zeta, and our two youngest girls were over. One was on the couch and one was upstairs. And so she got everybody upstairs just to kind of, make sure that they didn't see what was about to happen. At that point I realized you were turning blue and you weren't breathing. And at that point I knew, and under the guidance of the 911 operator, I knew I needed to start CPR.
I think the counting really freaked me out because I just got CPR certified a couple months earlier, and I was practicing it on a dummy in class. I never really expected to see that happen ever, especially on somebody like my dad, and especially right now. And he had purple words on his shirt, so it was so weird because he was his skin tone was matching his shirt, and it was super weird to see my dad like that.
The paramedics were here in under 5 minutes. They were already loaded from another job, and so they were here so incredibly fast. They shocked his heart with an AED, and after one shock, he was back into a rhythm. It's one of those things where I know what happened, but what just happened? He went down at 10 o'clock, and he was driving away in an ambulance at 10:13. It happened that fast.
And without that quick of a response, we're probably not sitting here talking right now. It was that serious of a situation. It was the cardiac arrest was about the worst that you can get with the Widowmaker.
Am I watching my husband die? He's turning blue. He's not breathing. I don't know what's happening. Is this it? Is this it? He's healthy. Seemingly healthy. He's active, he eats well, and so it felt like it didn't add up.
At 45 years old, to have a significant cardiac event like this was, it didn't seem possible. I think I may have dropped a couple F-bombs. I was in such disbelief that was actually what happened to me,
When he first started communicating, it was just by holding my hand, and I would try to pull away, or I would go to leave, and you would squeeze it back. So, but that first hand squeeze was pretty powerful.
My dad could have been gone, but now we still have more time with him. It's so great.
And how do we fill the house with joy when there's an empty spot at the dinner table, or there's an empty spot on the couch? We're putting up Christmas decorations, and you always love putting up Christmas decorations and just thinking about what does that look like without him here?
Just thinking back to that moment.
Just, the care from everybody, and just how the community came out and supported us
Yeah.
was really a surprise. But it was amazing, and it helped me with my recovery, just, feel that confidence that other people had in me, knowing that they were rooting for me and pulling for me and pulling for us as a family.
Cards and well wishes and text messages and
even now, still 5 months later,
yes.
people are still asking.
Right.
And truly, you can genuinely tell that they're concerned, about,
Yes.
the continued,
Yes.
rehab process. So, when you've got a class of first graders that are lined up outside your gym door waiting to come in, and every one of them has like a little card they want to give you, and they each give you a little, they each give you a hug
Yeah.
as they walk in the door. It's pretty special.
It's really special.
Yeah. I just feel like I'm in a really good place. I mean, you always feel fortunate after an event like that to even, be alive, let alone being able to get back to life as usual in a relatively, quick amount of time. We've had a couple people that
Yeah.
have told us that they've gone and seen a doctor because of our story.
I think he scared a lot of people, because I think they see, if it can happen to Eric Wetzel, who is a coach and a PE teacher and an athlete and a healthy guy, then I need to make sure that I'm okay too. This experience has just put me on this passionate mission to educate people on the importance of knowing how to respond in an emergency and being able to administer CPR. If he had collapsed like he did and I didn't know what to do, and then he's not sitting here, and how do I ever forgive myself for that? I don't. And so I don't want anybody else to not know what to do and lose a loved one because they weren't educated. It's irresponsible for me not to become an advocate because I've been given this opportunity. And so it's really important to me that people know what to do.
The American Heart Association puts the wheels in motion, right?
Right.
It makes this training available, because of the work that the American Heart Association does. People, are able to save lives essentially.
Right.
When it comes down to it.
When you're supporting something like this, you're supporting the education of all of us so that we can save our loved ones.
I can't thank you enough. You're amazing. You continue to amaze me. You have amazed me for years, and you've taken it a few levels, up ever since then. So, yeah, I'm the luckiest man alive.
The day he came home was like a dream. It was incredible seeing my dad living with only the assistance of medication. No breathing tubes, no IVs, no nothing. I was so glad that my future would include my dad. I love you, Daddy, forever and ever.